after week one of the college football season, we know kind of what's going on. We know that the Florida Gators are just in a world of hurt. Florida State's not far behind. It has been fun watching them just absolutely implode on the field. The USC over LSU game was fun to watch, fun to talk about. A little surprising, watching Clemson just get absolutely demolished and embarrassed, not only themselves but the entire ACC conference was interesting. We do our power rankings 1 through 10. We pick about 6 games this week, so I hope you guys enjoy. Welcome to the Linwood Sports Podcast in Sanford, Florida. This is Sandlot Sports. I am Adam Capperson. I'm here with Dorian Cody.
What's up?
And BJ Thomas.
The vodka says "fuck the Seminoles."
Well, it's funny. So, it's week one of the college football season, and there were some upsets, but not really major ones. Ranked teams versus unranked teams were 18-2. The funny thing is, those two losses were the same team.
Ain't that a bitch? I'll tell you what. As hard as they were going when Florida lost to number 19 Miami, this has been excellent. It's been a great week for me, rubbing their face in this shit. I've posted every meme possible.
It's been bad.
Yes, I hope.
Well, how do you go from number 10 to nowhere? Syracuse is ranked higher than FSU.
Which explains the Syracuse jersey, except it's a basketball jersey. So.
Yeah, they haven't done enough for me to buy a football jersey yet. They're working on it.
That's fair. So I guess my first question is, where does Florida State go from here?
Who gives a shit?
Well,
So I read something about Florida State had a chance to get, they waited to get Cam Ward, and then they had a chance to get Malik Murphy because Florida State was in its top 3 as far as transfer portals, but they wanted to take the cheap way out, and they decided to go with DJU.
And I would buy that if the answer to the question is, what's the only thing wrong with the Seminoles? And that was the quarterback.
They're in Tallahassee.
There's that.
Yeah, you didn't count that, did you?
No.
I got this.
But, I mean, it's not just their offense. While the offense is gone awful, their defense is just as bad.
DJ Ukulele's got to wind up like Byron Leftwich. And in a game that more and more depends on timing and speed, that windup does not work.
No.
Yeah.
This isn't baseball. You don't get to determine when the pitch gets there. You better go.
Yeah.
Have you seen that thing?
Mm-hmm.
I've seen him get sacked in the middle of winding up like twice.
So who has the worst windup? DJU or Tim Tebow?
Oh,
Tim Tebow got a windup too.
Tebow's is faster though. There's some snap in his. DJ looks like he's tossing a baseball in from center field after a fly ball. Yeah, but no.
But Tebow had that like hitch in his throwing motion though.
But he threw with speed. He threw with the intention of getting rid of the ball.
Yeah.
Ukulele just winds it up and it'll get there when it gets there.
Damn. So my thing is, did Mike Norvell, did he speak with Dabo at all?
Oh, Dabo was probably like, yeah, you want him on your team.
Yeah, because if I'm Dabo Sweeney, as desperate as things are, I'm giving advice to FSU.
Dabo was like, yeah, you want the broken car over there? Of course you do.
I just want to know. I want it to be understood. This goes to show the difference in the level of competition between the Pac-12 and the ACC.
Yeah.
And there's a huge jump from the ACC to the SEC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is where the jokes have come from over the past years. This is why we jump up and down on the Pac-12. They've been trashed for a long time. They live in an echo chamber, and the echo chamber's been shattered. Reality's about to hit this year. It all sunk.
Well, and the funny thing is, the Pac-12 is the only conference that's undefeated this year. Because they're 2-0. But yeah, I mean, there is a distinct talent difference between the ACC and the SEC, and that was on full display when Georgia put a whole foot and their knee into Clemson.
They shoved a badger up their ass. There's a whole animal up their ass.
That was bad. I mean, and the thing about it was, everywhere that Clemson passed the ball, it was swarmed with like Bulldog players. Like, I think they're faster this year than last year. their
Well,
defense.
it was twofold. A, their defense is quick as hell, and two, Clemson was not throwing the ball down the field. Not that they really had the time to, but the air yards was probably average 5 yards a throw. Yes. If you want to raise your hand like you're in school.
Yes, I'm waiting for my turn. You cannot throw to receivers downfield if the receivers are not fast enough to get downfield.
That's fair.
Okay.
That is true.
If you have 3.5 seconds to throw the ball, and that's on a good football team, by the way. That's on a good football team. You have 3.5 seconds to throw the ball.
Right.
Oh, Billy May from South Carolina is not getting 40 yards down the field in 3.5 seconds. I saw this in middle school. This is not. I know this is a fact.
But yeah, that was their problem, is that all of their routes that were even remotely open were 15 yards and in. I mean, if you watched Klipner or whatever his name was from Clemson, it was check down, maybe a 7-yard out. Maybe.
Dabo Sweeney took advice from Bill Belichick on how to scout wide receivers.
Yeah.
What's up with him and not wanting to go through the transfer portal?
He's a stubborn old white dude.
Yeah.
I ain't doing it.
So, now, wait a second. Southern white dude resistant to change surprises you. I believe they're called crackers, in case you haven't taken note. Or as Mr. George Jefferson called them, honkies.
Whichever you so choose to.
Yeah, they're interchangeable. I feel like honky pisses him off more.
Yeah, but I mean, realistically, that's what it is. He's stubborn, he's Southern, he's white, and all
Resistant
of
to change.
Yes, and all of that implies. Now, whether or not you want to pay the players or pay certain players, that is your business. But this is the result of that.
I bet you he doesn't put bacon on his baked potato. It's too much.
Bet you he uses margarine instead of butter.
His colon will get him for that eventually.
Motherfuckers in the South are drinking unsweet tea.
Shut your fucking mouth. I was born in New York. I will continue to drink unsweet tea. I get my diabetes from Coke, like a good respecting Northerner would.
So,
and for those of you at Florida State, I mean Coca-Cola, not the white powder that your professor and everybody else around you uses.
no, that's Miami.
I think, but I mean, the state capital's in Tallahassee. There's cocaine up there.
Yeah.
You know how I know? They tried to put a golf court on the state parks and almost riled up all of us who have pistols.
All of them. You know, they fired that whistleblower too, right? The guy that actually took.
Southern white guy resistant to change.
We've
out of here.
established the theme for this evening.
Yes, get out of here. Let us make our money, even though it'll destroy multiple species and probably cause the state to kill all of us.
Yeah, that's okay. He's
It was
banned
coming.
climate change.
It was coming. I'm telling you, it was getting online. It felt like the first one to put a backhoe in the ground was getting shot.
Yep.
That's what it started to feel like.
So Dorian, I will go to you for what went well this past weekend, and I will let you have the floor for your Miami Hurricanes.
Well, I mean, first off, it's one game. You know, I'm not gonna say that the U.S. back because as soon as people start saying that, next thing you know, we lose to fucking a team that we shouldn't lose to. But I'll say this: the things that I like that I saw was our tight ends looked like, you know, NFL tight ends. Our defense looked physical. And the thing is, I know people's like, well, it's the Florida Gators. No. The Gators came in, like, more people picked the Florida Gators to beat the Hurricanes than anything. So I ain't trying to hear that, oh, well, it's the Florida Gators. No, the Florida Gators just as talented. It just, what happened was.
That's because we were trying to make money. You weren't going to make money betting the Hurricanes in that game. We were trying to make money.
How'd that work out for you?
You're speaking into shut up, Adam. Your bets didn't work either. You made it to where I have to put more money back into this app. I appreciate your help. Thank you. Mr. LSU should cover. Mr. should pick LSU. Thanks. Appreciate that.
So overall, it was a good win. I mean, it's a good start, but again, it's a long season, and I tell everybody like, all it takes is one key injury, and we're playing in the butt fuck bowl. You know what I'm saying? So
$5 says y'all beat FSU.
I'm pretty sure I like our chances against FSU. Um, but yeah, it was a good win, man. Again, it's just a long season ahead, so but it does look favorable though. They would talk about our schedule, and they were like, you know, it's not an SEC schedule, you know, but if things go to plan, we should be able to make it at least into the playoffs. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at your schedule right now, the schedule of the Hurricanes right now. Realistically, the hardest game is probably their last game.
in Georgia Tech,
Who's that last game?
It at Syracuse.
Who's that last game? The ACC champion. That's who that last game is. If I win that bet, you're never gonna hear the end of it.
Oh, wait, I know.
oh, I already know.
I,
I already fucking know.
I will start every show
I
with
already know.
Defending ACC champion
defending
Syracuse
ACC
Orange.
championship, $500 to the winner. It's gonna be great.
And we thought BJ was insufferable before.
Ain't seen nothing yet. If Syracuse wins the ACC championship and the Cowboys win 2 playoff games, we're gonna lose listeners left and right.
So, BJ alluded to it. Go ahead.
We're gonna lose listeners like Dabo Swinney loses recruits.
Ooh. Or Brian Kelly loses recruits.
He's done some of the most cringeworthy shit. First of all, if you're on one of those 360 spinning platforms, you stand back to back, not dick to butt. Let's just make that clear. 2 grown men on the 3D 60 camera thing, butt to butt.
Yeah.
It's pole to pole. It's a hole to hole, not pole to pole, or pole to hole. We don't do that.
Well, I mean, he's as real as they come, right?
Look like he's gonna come on that 360 camera thing. That fake Southern accent. I mean, at least practice it before you whip it out. Run it by a few people.
Yeah. I think you had it right, a while back. He's about as fake as a stripper titties.
I know, and I thought about that, and it's like I like stripper titties, so I'm not sure if I should have compared Brian Kelly to that.
So, I mean, what does that game say more about, LSU or USC?
LSU.
Okay.
I still don't believe in USC's defense because Lincoln Riley's coaching it.
That is a fair assessment.
LSU had him and let him up.
Yeah.
That's coaching. That's coaching.
So,
He was right to get mad about that.
Yeah.
But I agree with what Shannon Sharp said. Shannon Sharp said the first things out of his mouth should have been, "That's coaching." And then you could pretty much then you could pretty much say whatever you want after that. Once you've accepted the responsibility and taken the pressure off your players, who, by the way, can come and go as they please now, so you might want to watch what you say. Once you've accepted that responsibility, you can kind of have a little leeway with what you say after that. But when you lead off with indirectly blaming the players in a system where they can leave because they feel like it, you're asking for it. And nobody's ever accused Brian Kelly of being like cuddly or
father figure.
personable. So I don't know. I think it was a mistake.
So, anything else from this past weekend that stood out to you?
I was gonna say, so going back to the LSU USC game. I feel as if USC, I think that they could be one of those teams because they beat a good LSU team. So it's not a fluke. I think that they could I think that they could be a sleeper because a lot of people because we all said we don't see USC going into the playoffs or anything like that. But however, like seeing them play, they got a new defensive coordinator. Um, USC's defense looked different than last year. They looked like they were tackling well. And again, this is against SEC offense. So if they can keep it up, man,
Did
they
they
could be a
look better,
sleeper.
or did LSU's offense look worse without Jaden Daniels back there?
I mean, it's Jaden Daniels though, but their quarterback, I mean, uh he seems solid to me. I mean, as far as it's just what happened was I believe they underestimated USC because again, USC's defense after Pete Carroll left, it's a free for all. Like you can average 200 plus yards on the ground. You can average 300 and something yards passing. But this year's USC defense looked different. They look hungry. They were wrapping up in tackles. Usually, if you throw the ball in the flat to a LSU wide receiver, good luck trying to bring them down. They were single handedly tackling well. Like they look different, man. They look different.
Underestimation usually happens early in the game.
Yeah.
They were LSU was up 4 at the end of the third quarter, and then gave up a 14-point fourth quarter. That's falling asleep at the wheel.
And didn't they do that last year against Florida State?
I can't remember.
I
I'll
thought
see.
the game was
Usually I can get
tied
that.
against Florida State last year, and then Jordan Davis went nuts.
Oh, they gave up 10 as a 10-0 third and a 21-7 fourth.
Yeah,
But they were up 17-14 at halftime.
and lost 45 to 24.
Yes.
That
So they're establishing a pattern.
it seems to be a coaching problem.
You don't say. And I will tell you this: Notre Dame lost Texas A&M.
No, they didn't. Notre Dame beat Texas A&M.
Oh, they didn't cover.
Yeah, they did. Texas A&M was favored, dude.
I bet no. Did I win that bet and I didn't know it?
I'm just A&M was favored by 3.
Is it possible that I missed the win? I'm looking at my bets. Don't let me hold you up. Oh, yeah. Hey, I won that bet. Yay. Yay. Texas A&M doing Texas A&M shit.
Yeah, that's
All
about
right,
right.
Texas A&M. Good job. But on a side note, the 2-bet LSU Florida State parlay loss, USC LSU loss, USC LSU to cover loss.
Who made those bets? Oh yeah, that's this dipshit here.
That dipshit. Now these are all my fault. Florida beating the spread, loss. Florida against Miami, loss. And then Clemson, all you had to do was lose by 13. I wasn't even saying you're going to win the fucking game. Just lose by 13.
So funny story about that. So I had Georgia to cover the 13.5, and then it got bet down to 11.5. I don't know. We're going to bore Dorian with the betting stuff, but so it got bet down to 11.5. So I'm like, oh, okay. And then the Hard Rock app had a promotion that it will be more than even money if Georgia covers the 13.5. I'm like, well, shit, I'll sell back my ticket and buy that one. Shit, made me an extra couple bucks doing that.
So all I'm holding on to right now is Keon Coleman for Offensive Rookie of the Year and Syracuse winning the ACC. And I got Syracuse beating Georgia Tech, but Syracuse got bullied on the front line that whole game. I don't know how it's going to work.
So, well, we'll get there. But right now,
Georgia Tech's got the Bo Nix of offensive lines.
oh, but see, Miami's got the Van Wilder of college football.
Who's that?
I don't know, the dude that is a 9-year senior.
Isn't he a tight end or something?
He got a touchdown pass.
Yeah, he had multiple injuries though, didn't he?
Yeah.
And COVID.
Yeah.
Man, that must be nice. It's like a combination of Burt Kreischer and Van Wilder. Well, that's it. Van Wilder is Burt Kreischer. I forgot.
Yeah. So, Let's do our power rankings, and then we'll get on to our picks. So, Dorian, who do you have number one?
Power rankings, Georgia, of course.
Jesus, is there a question?
BJ, you're going with Georgia?
Georgia.
Yeah, I mean, they.
Yeah, I got the Bulldogs because that was embarrassing for Clemson. Number two, Dorian.
Number two from this weekend.
However you want to rank them, they are your rankings.
But think about this. I don't. Here's the thing about the rank. Well,
Say Miami.
I'm gonna
just
say
get it over with.
no, because I'm not gonna jinx them. So I'm gonna say this. I'm going to say Ohio State.
No, we're not doing the jinxing shit. It's about who you think it is. We don't worry about
Well,
jinxes.
okay, I'm gonna get
we're
to
not,
it, but
we're
I'm gonna
not
say Ohio
Michigan
State.
fans. We're not Michigan fans. We don't do that punk shit.
BJ, who's your number two?
Ohio State. I just don't see a lot changing right now.
Yeah, I got the Suckeyes at number two.
Why did Oregon take such a hit?
Because they beat in Idaho 24-14.
Yeah, that's not a good look.
Yeah.
It should have been 44-14, and we wouldn't have this problem, Oregon.
Yeah. So, Dorian, who's your number three?
Number three, I got Bama.
Where was Oregon last year?
I think they finished like fourth or fifth last year.
What conference?
They were in the Pac-12.
Okay, just clarifying.
So, BJ, who's your number three?
Texas.
Yeah, I got Texas at three as well. Dorian, who's your four?
Fourth, I'm gonna go with Texas.
BJ, who's your four?
I mean, Alabama, I just don't see a lot of point in change in these top 4 or 5 teams. Now that I understand the Oregon thing, I mean, they deserve what they got. You can't have a close game with Idaho and expect to hold your ranking.
At home. And by the way, they were up 17-14 and had and they were going to punt, and then Idaho had an offsides. Gave them a first down. I mean, it was bad. I'm actually going Notre Dame at 4. That's one of the better wins on the board. Dorian, who's your 5?
Notre Dame.
PJ?
I hate saying it, but Notre Dame, I guess. I just don't like them. In case that hasn't been made clear in the past 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, I'm going Alabama at 5. Dorian, who's your 6?
Ole Miss.
BJ?
Yeah, I have to go with Ole Miss.
Yeah, I think that's a good pick. I was going between them and Penn State, but I think Ole Miss is just probably slightly better if played on a neutral field. So, Dorian, who's your 7?
Penn State.
BJ?
Yeah, it's got to be Penn State. The Oregon-Idaho thing's really bugging me. I can't shake it.
I'm going Missouri at 7. Actually, I'm sorry. I had Penn State at 7. I have Oregon at 8. Dorian? Who's your
I'm
8?
gonna say Missouri at 8.
BJ?
Yeah, I guess Missouri.
And Missouri at 9. And just for the sake of argument, I have Michigan at 10. Just so. Dorian, who's your 9?
9. I'm gonna do. I'm gonna say Michigan.
BJ?
I'll say Michigan.
Okay. Dorian, who's your 10?
Oh, my 10th. I'm going Miami.
Oh,
I knew it was coming.
I wanted to curse him, but go ahead. Put him up there. I'll put Miami in there too. Let me put that bad juju on him.
So what I'm hearing is
Yeah.
that Doradamus thinks the Miami Hurricanes will go undefeated this year.
Doradamus. This is a full
Doradamus
Doradamus.
didn't say shit.
No, this is a full
Nah,
Doradamus.
I ain't letting you
pick.
do that. No.
No, this is Doradamus.
No.
Yeah, full Doradamus pick. Yep.
I mean, they beat a SEC team.
Wait a second.
So
Wait a second. Now the
it
SEC
is not like they
all
beat
that?
Vanderbilt. They beat the Florida Gators in the swamp.
Okay, so
Now the
what do you-
SEC's all that? I'm confused.
No, it's me that you're directing that to. I'm just going off what is in the app and what the bettors say, and that the Florida Gators were projected to finish 4-8 this season.
Yeah. Can we redo our predictions?
I'm not sure they're going to make the 4.
Not looking good.
No. Okay. And so we'll do our picks. So this weekend is a BJ Thomas special. We have Arkansas, we have Syracuse, and we have NC State and Colorado all in our picks.
All of them are winning. Matter of fact, I'm going to do a parlay.
The first game is Arkansas versus Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State's a 7.5-point favorite.
Arkansas.
Dorian.
That running back was flirting with an opposing cheerleader. Arkansas.
Oh yeah. I'm going Arkansas.
You know it.
Yeah, I've already picked them, so I'm going Arkansas.
You know it.
So Georgia Tech versus Syracuse. Tech is a 3.5-point favorite.
Syracuse. What are you waiting for? Yeah, I already told you all my teams are winning this week.
Dorian.
I'm going to upset here. I'm going to say Georgia Tech.
They're favored, dude. Georgia Tech is favored by
That's
3.5.
not an upset.
Oh yeah, I see it. Yeah, I'll pick Georgia Tech.
Yeah, I picked Syracuse because we saw Georgia Tech beat Florida State, and they got the bump from that. Then we saw what the Florida State team really was. So that line's been coming down. I'm picking Syracuse now. Texas versus Michigan. Texas is a 7-point favorite in the Big House.
Texas.
Dorian.
I'm gonna go with Texas on this one.
Yeah, I think Michigan keeps it close with their defense, but their offense it's Iowa-esque. So I don't think they have enough. I'm going Texas as well. Okay, another BJ special. Tennessee versus NC State.
I want to say NC State is going to scrap it out. They're
Well,
at NC State.
It's a 7.5-point spread, so even if they lose by a touchdown, you can still pick NC State.
NC State.
Dorian?
I'm going Tennessee.
Wait. You're picking the SEC team. BJ's picking the ACC team. I'm all confused. I'm picking NC State to cover. I don't think they're going to win, but I think they're going to cover. Colorado and Coach Prime versus Nebraska. Nebraska's a 7-point favorite.
$10 bet on Cuse in Arkansas get you $71.
Hey.
I don't think I'm going to parlay that any further. I think I'm going to go ahead and do my little $10 there. and then I'll go back and do a $5 4-game parlay. See, I got this all figured out. Sorry to interrupt. I had to make sure that you understood that that's happening.
Yes. So, Coach Prime versus Nebraska.
Prime. He did not impress me this last week. I expect him to impress me this coming week.
Dorian.
And this hurts me, but
Don't do it.
I'm picking Nebraska.
Oh my God.
I think
Jesus
yeah.
will never forgive you.
Oh, Jesus is already gone. So we gave Oregon shit for beating Idaho by 10.
That right there is why we lose listeners, Adam. That attitude right there.
So we're not going to give Colorado the same crap for beating North Dakota State by 5. I'm going Nebraska. So last one is Boise State versus Oregon, as we were talking about. Oregon's a 19.5-point favorite.
Yeah, I think they cover that.
Dorian?
Oregon.
I'm
Plus
going
they're
Boise.
playing in Eugene. Yeah.
Boise ain't scared. I'm going Boise to at least cover. So we'll take a quick break and we'll be back with the NFL.